Circumstances can both be good and bad.
I've got an example here in Scripture. This is in Mark 4. This is the calming of the storm. So in verse 35, it says, that same day when evening came, he said, this is Jesus, he came to them and said, let us go across to the other side. So Jesus is getting in the boat with the disciples and he's told them, he's given them a direction, he's given them instructions, he says, we're going to go across the other side of the lake. When they had sent the crowd away, they took him in the boat just as he was. There were also other boats with him. A great windstorm arose and the waves splashed into the boat so that it was now filling the boat. He was in the stern asleep on the pillow. They woke him and said, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? He arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? And they marveled. Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him? In some translations it says, Jesus' response is, Where is your faith? Where is your faith? Jesus was in the boat with them. He'd already given them the instruction to go to the other side. They had a word from God, if you like, to go do something. But when they got out on the lake, it wasn't smooth sailing. Right. Even though they had a word from God to go to the other side, there was a storm that arose on that lake, and it brought fear. It looked really bad. They thought they were going to die because they had forgotten who was with them in the boat. Jesus wasn't going to sink.
The circumstances looked like it was going to stop them. The circumstances
it looked overwhelming.
So they'd listened to the circumstances. They could thought this isn't going to work.
Well, and on the face of it, the circumstances looked pretty bad. And circumstances come against us sometimes to distract us from fulfilling what God has sent us to do. Another example of this is when the children of Israel were sent into the promised land, there were giants in the land. Now, God knew that there were going to be giants in the land, but he said, I've given you the land anyway. He knew that the storm was going to arise on the lake, but he told them, let's go across to the other side.
Now, God didn't send the storm?
He didn't, but he wasn't surprised by it either.
Right.
So circumstances sometimes come against us, and this is contrary to some of how we've been taught that if God has told you to do something and you've got some resistance, then maybe you've heard wrong.
Well, people go into two ditches in this. I've realised, and I've done this myself. Everything we're teaching, basically, we've lived out. So it's not like
we've made all of these.
We've made all these mistakes. That's how we teach. Basically, we just teach of our mistakes. So we've been in both of these ditches. What can happen is, as Christians, you can make a decision for God. So whatever that is, we're going to move to one of the big decisions we made. We're going to move to Bible school and actually go to Bible school back in 2006. And we could say, okay, we're thinking about moving to Bible school. If all the circumstances work out and everything works out and our house sold and we got a new house for rent and we got a job and everything worked out, and it must be the Lord, everything's working out. But yeah, if everything went wrong and it was difficult, we couldn't find housing, we couldn't sell our house, everything went wrong, we say, must be the Lord, the devil's trying to stop us.
It's down to interpretation,
isn't it? Down to interpretation.
The other way is,
it can't be right. All these circumstances against us, we must have missed God, this can't be God. Or all the circumstances are good, so it must be God. Either way, do you see how we can use circumstances to argue our case both ways? That's why we can't put weight on circumstances.
We can't put faith in the circumstances.
Amen, we really can't.